I love Nintendo music, and really always have. In fact, Animal Crossing New Leaf was my gateway drug into the masterpiece of a genre called BGM, back when I was like 9 years old. I love video game music so much, especially soundtracks from Nintendo, and when I got news that a Nintendo music app was coming out, I was ecstatic to say the least. So, here's my entirely unbiased review of the Nintendo music app. I love it. This is exactly what I've been waiting for years, and the best way that Nintendo could have gone about releasing their music. The main reason Nintendo gatekept their music from the community is 1. They wanted it to be experienced in the game and in the game only, and 2. They are protective of their original works. Nintendo is obviously the owner of the works and the pieces, and therefore can control exactly what happens with them. The main purpose, and really the only purpose of the songs, is to supplement the in-game atmosphere. If you listen to the music elsewhere, that makes the songs lose their original meaning and really what they're made for. So, understandably, Nintendo wanted to keep all their songs completely contained within their games. But, I guess after almost 40 years of backlash from the community, they finally realized that their fans would be much happier with being able to listen to their songs in their own time. I mean, Nintendo uploads of YouTube soundtracks get millions of views before getting copyright striked and taken down, not to mention the countless curated playlists as background music and videos like this one, and deep dives into the underworkings of music theory in the songs. But Nintendo finally overcame their fear of the songs losing their meaning and released them to the public in the best way possible, their own app. As I touched on briefly, Nintendo really likes keeping their stuff theirs. They know copyright laws and they know them well. Therefore, they refuse to put their songs on streaming services such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, etc. because essentially they're giving away some of the rights to their music to the companies. Now, it's useful to note that copyright laws vary across countries, but for companies like DistroKid, the laws are the same everywhere. DistroKid is a very common service that allows composers to release their music to all streaming services at one time. They say in their TOS that by uploading your music to DistroKid and having it distributed, streaming services can reproduce, create, and publicly perform and make available free preview clips of your recordings, and goes on to explain that third-party companies have the right to reproduce, distribute, and prepare derivative works, collect income off the composer's work while still compensating them, if only a little. Basically, they're sharing copyright with streaming services, allowing them to do really anything they want with a song except passing it off as their own. Especially with how stigmatized the privacy of Nintendo's music is, putting it on streaming services would allow the companies to use it for advertising, and that's the last thing Nintendo wants their music used for. So, their solution was really ingenious, to create their own app. Now, Nintendo music is still contained completely within Nintendo, and they don't have to deal with all the pesky copyright agreements, still have full control over how the music is distributed, and is accessible to the public. Nintendo made the app honestly really well. I absolutely love the spoiler protection feature. I feel like it's kind of useless with the catalog of games right now. I mean, the most recent game that came out is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and that came out a year ago. However, I'm not saying it won't be useless in the future. In the release video, they mentioned they'll be adding more soundtracks in, and they already have, so this feature will definitely come in handy later on. Personally, I'm excited for the rest of Splatoon 3 Turf 4 battles and side order, and all of Splatoon 2 and 1 as well. I also love their pre-made playlists. If you're not aware already, the Nintendo Music app is full of pre-made playlists based on a certain mood or activity. Break time, good night, walking, running, and powering up are the featured ones right now. They also have playlists based on a specific character, pulling songs from a bunch of different games that feature or are made for a specific character. These playlists double as a discovery feed as some songs are replaced every day. It's basically the same day to day, but with 1 or 2 songs that make you go, oh, that's new, I haven't heard that before, and I absolutely love that. I've already discovered a handful of songs I wouldn't have otherwise, and I really enjoy listening to. However, my favorite feature by far is being able to extend songs. I am a person that develops obsessions very quickly, and having such easy access to seamless repeats of a song is like heaven to me. I wish all songs had the feature enabled, looking at you, Rudo Village, but there's still a bunch of bangers that I've listened to for the entire 60 minutes. Something silly I like to do with the feature is have my own soundtrack. I take this corresponding Animal Crossing the Hourly music to the actual time and listen to the 60-minute extended version until the hour turns over. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and now it's actually possible, and I really enjoy doing it. Now, as much as I've been glazing the app and Nintendo, there are some issues I want to discuss as well. First, the playback is inconsistent. It sometimes takes a few seconds for a song to start or resume, and will sometimes falter in the middle of a song. I assume it's just an easy-to-fix loading error, and I don't see it being a problem for very long. While that is an issue, I know there are bigger ones you guys want me to talk about, like how composers aren't listed anywhere. The title of the song and game as realm are very easily accessible, but the music composers aren't listed anywhere. Even the in-game Splatoon bands are listed. Personally, I think the composers deserve 100% of the recognition and not just Nintendo, as the composer did 100% of the work. Even on the purchasable CDs, the composer's name is listed next to the song title, and it wouldn't be super hard to just transfer all of them over into a new composer field. However, the potential reason why they're not listed is because after publishing the game, all assets are completely owned by the company. Nintendo as a company gets to decide what to do with everything. The composers' names are listed in the credits of the game, but aside from that, Nintendo isn't obligated to credit them at all. This isn't a Nintendo-specific issue, this goes for many game studios, especially larger well-known ones. Also noteworthy, Kaihatsu, a game developer in Japan, brings up the point that composers might not want their name listed in the credits, saying there are a lot of people that don't see themselves as special and wish to remain private. Does all this justify Nintendo's decision on not adding the composer's name to the credits of the app? Yes. Am I happy about it? Absolutely not. The amount of time composers put into writing an absolute banger and then be anonymized by a corporation is bullshit. We already know the app is Nintendo, it's in the name of the app. We don't need to know the songs are copyrighted, that's just plain obvious. Just put the composers in the track info at least. I'll die on this hill that composers don't get the recognition they deserve. But anyways, enough of that rant, let's talk about the most controversial part of the app, needing a Nintendo Online subscription to access it. I'm just gonna say flat out, this is not a problem. This is not a classic Nintendo moment. Nintendo Music is a music streaming service which needs to both compensate its composers and keep its servers running. All music is behind a paywall and always has been. You need to pay streaming services to get full access to the services. Even Spotify, the most globally accessible music streaming service, is selling out. Before streaming services, you needed to pay for CDs, vinyl, tapes, what have you. Even in the dark ages, you needed to pay for sheet music to learn on your own, or pay to go to concerts to see it performed. So Nintendo charging $20 a year compared to Apple Music's $132 or Amazon's $120 or even Spotify's $144, it's not something to complain about. In fact, it's a great deal. The Nintendo app has almost 2,400 unique, exclusive, and iconic songs on it. It requires the same subscription you use for online gaming, access to retro Nintendo games, cloud-save data storage, free access to a high-tech alarm clock, all for $20 a year. And why wouldn't you want to support the composers and company that makes the songs you enjoy listening to? I will accept neither ifs nor buts, and Nintendo Online subscription being required for this app is not a problem. Well, that's my 2 cents. I really enjoy the Nintendo Music app and all it has to offer, and I'm excited to see what new soundtracks they add in the future.